Hey, good afternoon. Reporting to you guys live from the minivan here. I woke up this morning and I realized people are kind of starting to tune into these videos here. So I'm gonna try really hard not to make this weird, even though it's uncomfortable for me a little bit because I feel a little bit naked with the stuff I've got out there. But you know, that's the whole point. Is I'm trying to get to a place to where I'm the same person in front of everybody as I am not in front of everybody, by myself. You know what I mean? I feel like I want to be, when I talk, I want to talk like everybody's listening anyways. Otherwise, it's like I've got something to hide. You know what I mean? Or I've got something ugly that I'm not dealing with. So, whoever it is tuning in, I appreciate you. But that being said, like I feel like I'm deviating from what the original intention was already, just because of that. Like, before I got sat down and started recording this, I'm thinking like, okay, I gotta get a coffee and make sure like I really bring it now because there's people that are listening. And you know, I apologize because like that is not what the intentions were here. That's not what you guys came here for. And I'm just realizing it's gonna take a lot of work to not be that guy that puts on a show and puts that mask on, you know what I mean? And I'm working on it. Like, I really don't want that to be me. Like, I do have a message I'm trying to share with everybody, and I do want to be real, but yeah, man, it seems like it's just such a trap to just let me change who I am to appease everybody. And that's not what I'm trying to do, because I'm not. You guys don't need somebody. You don't need me. You don't need to tune into this video to see me be perfect. Like, that's not what anybody's here for. It's not what this is all about. So yeah. That being said, if you're just tuning in, we are basically on episode 4 of our mission statement for If This Was a Company. Just trying to figure out what our purpose is. And to be completely honest, like I'm frustrated, man. Like I did not think this conversation was gonna go on as far as it has in regard to what's my purpose. You know what I mean? But it's deep. We're gonna hit every color in the emotion wheel, I guess. We're gonna go right through it. But I'm gonna get right into the scripture today. It's Mathew 25. Verse 14 through 30, and it's the parable of the talents. And this is a story that's very rich, and there's a lot to get out of it, but I'm just gonna kind of hone in on just a few points here. Starting verse 14, Jesus talking about the kingdom of heaven. For it will be like a man going on a journey, who called his servants and entrusted to them his property. To one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, to another 1, to each according to his ability. Then he went away. He who had received the 5 talents went at once and traded with them, and he made 5 talents more. So also he who had the 2 talents made 2 talents more. But he who had received the 1 talent went and dug in the ground and hid his master's money. Now after a long time the master of those servants came and settled accounts with them. And he who had received the 5 talents came forward, bringing 5 talents more, saying, Master, you delivered to me 5 talents. Here, I have made 5 talents more. His master said to him, Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a little. I will set you over much. Enter into the joy of your master. And he also who had the 2 talents came forward, saying, Master, you have delivered to me 2 talents. I have made 2 talents more. His master said to him, Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a little. I will set you over much. Enter into the joy of your master. He also who had received the 1 talent came forward, saying, Master, I knew you to be a hard man, reaping where you did not sow, and gathering where you scattered no seed. So I was afraid, and I went and hid your talent in the ground. Here, have what is yours. But his master answered him, You wicked and slothful servant. You knew that I reap where I have not sown, and I gather where I scattered no seed. Then you ought to have invested my money with the bankers, and at my coming I should have received what was my own with interest. So take the talent from him and give it to him who has the 10 talents. For to everyone who has will be more given, and he will have an abundance. But from the one who has not, even what he has will be taken away. And cast that worthless servant into the outer darkness. In that place there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. And I guess where I'm going with this, and how I feel like it applies to the conversation that's been evolving here, is sometimes it seems like the master's not around. You know what I mean? And I say that in regards to sometimes, not that it seems like the master's not around, but maybe better said, sometimes there's an absence of orders. Like what I feel like we're kind of wrestling through right now. Like what's God's purpose? What are our orders, sir? Like where should we attack? And I think about what's going on in Ukraine right now. This is just kind of like things that I've heard and read, and you know, if there's someone listening who's got more insight than me, and I sound stupid, like I apologize, but from my understanding, like they're saying that Russia has really shown a big failure in their logistics and their communication. In other words, they say one of the reasons why America's military is so strong is because the way we're designed, our military is, in many ways, it's a lot more autonomous than other militaries. Meaning our soldiers have the ability to operate without orders. Like my stepdad, he was big in special forces. Like he's got this poster in his garage that says, "In the absence of orders, attack." So the American soldier knows, like, hey, if I get disconnected from my commander, or if I don't know what my orders are, I know that I gotta attack. Like, I know that I gotta bring it to the enemy. And not to get off subject, but apparently Russia failed to do that, and like Ukraine picked up on it, went off their communications and their leaders, and the soldiers just didn't know what to do. They panicked. Like they seized up. They were unable to function as a soldier. And I think there's something to take away from that. Like here in God's army, like God's army is very big, for one. Like I gotta realize sometimes I'm not the only unit in God's army. Like, as much as I want to take that city, there's a lot of other forces around me. We've got tanks, we've got artillery, we got planes. Like, I've got brothers and sisters out there that like need to move their pieces, and they've got their own battles that they've got to fight. And man, for us to defeat this enemy, like, we got to work together. You know what I'm saying? And that might just be where it's at right now, but I still know what my job is, despite not having orders on hand. Despite God not coming down and telling me, like, hey, specifically need you to do this. Like, I know that I got to take care of my kids. I know that I got to be a good father, good husband. I know that I got to do everything within my power to keep my words from hitting the ground. Like, I know what God's purpose is. I know that He wants me to be there for the people that are struggling, and He wants me to shut up and listen and to hear people out. And I know to a large extent, like, what His intentions are. You know what I mean? I know the war at hand, and if you're listening, I'm sure you do too, to a great degree. And I think instead of us, when we're in these places when we're waiting to hear from God, and like we're just not getting the answers we're looking for, and there's just this big battle in front of us and we don't know what to do, the answer is not to just hide in our foxhole until the commander shows up. Like, that's not the way. And I think the parable of the sower kind of shows it. Like, don't bury your talents. Like, don't hide. Don't just do nothing. Like, you need to press on. You need to, in the absence of orders, attack. Like, you do need to move forward. Focus on what you do know. You know what I mean? So, yeah, those are my thoughts for today. Like, as we continue on and we're digging, I guess this whole session 1 is just going to be about purpose at this point. Like, that seems to be where it's been lingering at. Again, we've got about 2 hours in on this this mission statement of ours, and I don't know where this is going, but you know, I am pleased with the direction. And hey, if you are that one of those people that are tuning in, like, I really do appreciate you. And you know, I need you guys to get me on the right track. And yeah, I really excited to see where this goes. And thank you for tuning in. I will be back next time. Bye.